आज कॉन्फ्रेंस के दूसरे दिन और आज की पहली टॉक प्रारंभ होने जा रही है। आप सभी से अनुरोध है जो पीछे बैठे हैं कृपया आगे आ जाएं। सब लोग आगे आगे आके बैठें। आज की पहली टॉक है एडवांसेस इन कैंसर बायोलॉजी एंड ट्रीटमेंट एन आयुर्वेदिक अप्रोच। स्पीकर हैं डॉक्टर GS तोमर, IMS BHU हमारे बीच आ चुके हैं। कृपया स्वागत करिए तालियों द्वारा। और आज के पहले सेशन के प्रोग्राम डायरेक्टर प्रोफेसर नीलम मिश्रा जो कि नाइजीरिया से हैं, वो भी आ चुकी हैं। चेयरपर्सन प्रोफेसर HR चिटमे और प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर शशि यादव। अब मेरा अनुरोध है मैडम प्रोफेसर नीलम मिश्रा से कि आएं और आगे स्पीकर को इंट्रोड्यूस करें।
Yes, very good morning, and as you know, hello. Very good morning to all of you, and thank you to my organizer, to the organizer who invite me as a program director in this session. And as you know, the cancer is very important, and day by day people are dying with cancer, but there is still no remedy. So we have invited a very renowned person from the BHU. The name of speaker Dr. GS Tomar, and the GS Tomar is the adjunct professor, faculty of Ayurveda, IMS BHU Varanasi, and I am now telling you about Professor GS Tomar, what he is. Now, Professor GS Tomar, born on October 12, 1955, graduated in Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery from Jeevanshi University, Gwalior, with gold medal in 1975. Very good. And did MD in Kaya Chikitsa in 1982 and PhD in 1986 under the coveted supervision of Padam Shri Professor R.H. Singh, is very renowned Ayurveda. He is a fellow of Indian System of Medicine, Delhi, and Medicina Alternativa, FMA, Spain. He was conferred the degree of Doctor of Medicine honoris causa by Medicina Alternativa, Denmark. Professor Tomar has produced 19 PhD. Under his guidance, he has published 4 important books which are very important for all of us, and more than 150 research papers in national and international journals. He is a recipient of Excellent Award from All India Doctors Association of Indian System of Medicine 20th Century Scholars Award from New York. Great. And Shiksha Shri Award from Allahabad, Uttar Pradesh. He is president of Vish Ayurveda Mission, Atarya Institute of Research in Yoga, Ayurveda and Naturopathy, and UP chapter of National Academy of Panchkarma and Research, Nepal. He has chaired a session in a conference on holistic medicine at New York, USA, and delivered a series of guest lectures in different states of North America. He has also presided over the scientific sessions in more than 20 international conferences, including 4th, 5th, 6th World Ayurveda Conference held in Bangalore, Bhopal, and Delhi respectively. Professor Tomar organized 30 national international conferences, workshops successfully. He joined the UP State Ayurveda Services in 1984 and served in the capacity of lecturer, reader, professor and principal in Government Ayurveda College of Lucknow. Varanasi and Hamdia Allahabad for over 32 years. He has also worked as Dean, Faculty of Ayurveda and Unani Medicine, GSJM University, Kanpur, UP. Professor Tomar has been meticulously engaged in revival and development of Ayurveda on scientific lines. Now I am inviting Professor Tomar, please deliver a lecture for all of us and kindly look and see how Ayurveda is important for all of us. Please see carefully, okay? Thank you.
समारंभां रामानंदारि मध्यमां अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे श्री गुरु परंपरां. The dignitaries on the dais, Madam Misra ji from Nigeria. She is director of this very program and the chairpersons, and I am very much thankful to the organizers, especially Dr. Katyar, to give me the opportunity to share some of my experiences regarding the concept of cancer in Ayurveda. Because the huge gathering, so many specialists and dignitaries from the different parts of the globe are participating in this convention, and you peoples are going through the deliberations right from yesterday, and you know different specific features of the modern system of medicine over here. But I specifically want to convey a message regarding the concept of cancer in Ayurveda. Before highlighting this very important cost aspect, I would like to throw some light on the basic concepts of the Ayurveda itself, because the person from abroad or from the Western discipline, they are not fully aware with the things or principles hidden in this very science 1,000 years ago, that I want to emphasize over here. The basic topic is advances in cancer biology and treatment and Ayurvedic approach. Here, first of all, I would like to narrate this very important thing, that Ayurveda is a holistic system of natural health care that originated from the Vedas, most ancient Indian literature of human civilization. It deals with the various aspects of life, hence it is not merely a system of treatment, but it is supposed to be an ideal way of life. How to live in the society, how to interact with your parents, how to interact with your teachers, how to interact with the patient. Every aspect has been given very nicely in this very system. That's why we are considering this system not merely a system of treatment, but as a holistic way of, ideal way of life. As you know, fourfold essentials are there. What we are doing in our daily routine, we have got four objectives. Something we are doing for the religious point of view, something we are doing for earning the money, for fulfilling our desires, or ultimately for salvation. These fourfold essentials are there. And it has been stated by the Ayurvedic physicians, Dharmartha kama mokshanam arogya moolam uttamam roga tasya pahartara sreso jivitasya. This health is supposed to be the basis. If you are healthy, you can do all these four facts. You can engage yourself to earn the money, to fulfill our desires, or to do some religious duties. That's why it is supposed to be the basis. Health. As far as the four-dimensional goal of WHO is concerned, we have got four-dimensional goal named as prevention, promotion, cure, and rehabilitation. While we are talking about the preventive strategy, you know, several programs have been launched by the Government of India, from the World Health Organization, pulse polio drive and number of the immunization schedules are there. In spite of that, I would like to narrate some key facts written in Ayurvedic classics 1000 years ago. Because basically this science is developed as Athato Dirghat Jivatiyam Madhyayam Vyakhyasam. I am propounding this medicine for the long life of the individual. Not only long life, Pashem Sarda Satam, Jivem Sarda Satam. Live for 100 years with all proper or the intact sense organs. That's why the objective of this very science is very much based for the prevention of the health. Charak Samhita is supposed to be the best book of the Ayurvedic medicine, which is written 5,000 years ago. As far as the objective of Ayurveda is concerned by Charak Samhita, just I am quoting this thing. Swasthasya swasthi rakshanam aturasya vigara prasannam cha. The primary objective of this very science is to maintain the health of the healthy individual. And cure of the disease is the secondary objective. He has paid high attention for the prevention of the health. And second important thing is, swasthasya odas karam yattu yad prasyam tadrasayanam. I am not emphasizing on other 2 points. Here I am talking about the promotion of health. Ayurveda is 8-fold specialties. They were described right from very beginning. From 8 specialties, 2 specialties are specially dedicated to swasthasya odaskaram, promotion of the health of the healthy individual. They are called as aphrodisiacs, particularly for the sexual health, and the sign, rejuvenators. That's why the prevention, promotion, cure and rehabilitation, all 4 dimensional goals can be fulfilled by following this very science. Now the one common example I am giving over here. WHO defined health primarily as health is a state of absence of diseases or infirmity. After going through the definition of the health given in Susut Samhita near about 4,000 years ago, Samadosha, Samagdishya, Samadhatu, Mulakriya, Prasannatmendriya Manaha Swastati Vidyate. What a wonderful definition is given by him. By going through, not only the physical factors were taken over here, physical, mental, social and spiritual, all 4 factors have been taken into consideration. Keeping this very definition in the mind, now the WHO has changed the new definition of the health has been given as health is a state of complete physical, mental, social and spiritual well-being, not merely the absence of diseases or infirmity. It shows the holistic nature of this very science. Now the question is, we peoples are running away from the environment. Concrete के जंगल तैयार हो रहे हैं, पेड़ों की कटाई हो रही है. We are running from the nature towards the artificial world. That is the nature, that is the basis. We are searching for the cause and etiology of different diseases which are supposed to be idiopathic. Unknown etiology. Basic etiology behind the all such type of the disorders is we are running away from the nature. Ayurveda has got the specific concept of the man come environment. It is stated by the Ayurvedic Acharyas, Yavanta Purusa Tamanto Loko. The human body is the symbolic representation of the whole universe. It is a miniature replica of the cosmos. Because 3 cosmic powers are basically responsible for governing the total environment. They are the sun, moon and air. And in human body we have got the representatives of the all 3 things in the form of the Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Visarga Adana Vichche Pai Som Surya Nirastata Dharayante Jagadeham Kapita Nirastata. These 3 things are there. That's why minor changes in the cosmic environment directly influences the internal environment of our body. This is supposed to be the wonderful example of the chronobiology. Chronobiology is written in such a scientific manner in this very science that is very, very remarkable. Here, Kapha is representative of the moon, Pitta is representative of the sun, and Vata is representative of air. Then, one question I am always narrating in front of the audience. I am not criticizing any system because each and every system of medicine has got its own limitations. Ayurveda, allopathy, homeopathy, naturopathy, every therapy has got some plus points, some negative points. But as far as the concept of Ayurveda is concerned, we believe in the field theory, unlike the Western medicine which believe in the seed theory. Once you ask a question to the Western physician, what is the cause of the tuberculosis, they will tell you Mycobacterium tuberculosis. What is the cause of the typhoid, Salmonella typhi. What we believe, merely a pathogen is not the cause of a particular disease. Because if you analyze the normal flora of the healthy individuals, you can see the presence of the Mycobacterium tuberculosis over there. But each and every person is not suffering from tuberculosis. It is because there must be proper concentration of a proper pathogen. Then only one can develop a particular type of the ailment. That's why it has been described in Ayurvedic classics, Dhruv Chaturunam Sanidhyat Garvashyadvit Purvaka Ritu Kshetram Bhubijanam Samakriyadam Purvetha. 4 factors are there. If you want to sow a seed in the ground, in the field, it's not hard and fast. Each and every seed which are sowing, it should be germinated. Because 4 factors are there. Ritu, season must be proper. Field, your immune status must be compromised. It should be decreased, it should be declined. Then only the pathogen can grow and multiply. And nutrients, there must be proper water supply. Nutrients means proper pH for the growth of the pathogen. And 4th one is the pathogen itself. That's why we are not recommending any antibiotic or any such type of the drug for the direct disease. We are boosting the immune system of the body so that the multiplication or the growth of a particular pathogen will be stopped. It is our approach. Here we are talking about the psychosomatic ailments. The concept of the psychosomatic ailment is highlighted in Ayurvedic science right from very beginning. Aganturanvet nijam vikaram nijam tathaganturapi pravardha. The thing is, now I am coming on the particular topic, that is cancer. Initially, why the cancer developed? Why such type of the disorders can be developed in the body? Initially, it was believed by the Western medicine that there is an increase or decreased quantum of the humors which is responsible for disease. It has been narrated in Ayurvedic classics. Vikaro dosa vaisamyam dosamyam arogata Vikaro dhatu vaisamyam samyam vikarturuchyate sukha sangha karogyam Vikaro dukhamevacha. It has been written from 1000 years ago. While we are talking about the theory of the free radicals, in free radicals are those metabolites which are developed in the body due to the faulty metabolism, having the deprivation of one electron in their external orbit. Whenever they will circulate in the body, they are having the tendency to snatch one electron from that particular part. During the process of snatching, there will be disintegration of the tissue concerned, leading to the development of the disease. This is the concept. This concept has been established in this very science 1000 years ago. What they are talking about, Ushmano alpabaratvena dhatu madhyam apachitam dustamama savingatam rasamamam prachachate. Due to the hyperfunctioning of the biological fire, some unmetabolized substances are formed that is called as ARM, toxin, in the term of the Ayurvedic science. And these toxins are responsible for development of the various disorders in the body. How they will develop the disorders? It is mentioned there that this arm circulates in the body in different channels through the sotsas. Wherever it will stagnate, it will cause the disintegration of the tissue concerned, leading to the development of the disease. It has been described over there. The concept of the free radicals has already been given. Now the latest concept of the disease is theory of the membrane pathology. That is very correct in the cause of the cancer. Membrane pathology, why the cancer of a particular part is developed? Why of prostate? Why of the mammary gland? It is because disease is a result of hindrance in transportation system of the cell membrane due to the deposition of the toxins in their pores. That's why the latest theory of the medicine is regarding the disease theory of the membrane pathology. You will be surprised to know Membrane pathology has been discussed in our classics very scientifically. They are calling about the concept of the srotas, the minute channels of the body. Not only the veins and nerves, veins, arteries, capillaries. Other than that, they cannot be visualized. Naked eye, even with the microscope. The latest techniques of the visualizing them proved that there are the minute pores, there are minute channels. High port gutted channels are there. They are supposed to be channels, they are supposed to be srotas. That's why Ayurveda believes Srotomayam ayam sariram. The human body is the summation of the different type of the srotas. I am teaching my students that just like biology, cell is a structural and functional unit of living being. To my students that srotas is supposed to be the unit of the living being. Srotasas. And the classical quality described regarding srotas is Sravana Srotansi. There is continuous oozing इंट्रासेलुलर कंपार्टमेंट टू एक्स्ट्रासेलुलर कंपार्टमेंट. और इसमें परेशानी क्या पैदा होती है? कुपितानाम दोषाणाम शरीरे परिधावताम यत्र संगा खबे गुंड्या व्याधिस्तत्रोपजायते. All the vitiated dosas or these humors circulate in the body within different channels. Wherever it will stagnate, it will cause the pathology of the system concerned. That's why if there is membrane pathology in the prostate itself, so there will be CO of prostate. Similarly, other diseases can also develop over there. So the basic objective is Khabegunya. That is membrane pathology. This is the basic logic behind the principle of treatment of such type of the diseases. Principles of the Ayurvedic treatment. What we are doing, we are not objective. When we are examining a pulse of the patient, what we are observing? We are not observing simply the rate of the pulse, rhythm of the pulse, and amplitude of the pulse, volume of the pulse. We are observing the remainder health of the individual. Because it is the quantum of the remainder health which will decide the prognosis of the disease, nature of the therapy, dosage of the drugs, and duration of the treatment. Because our logic is, we want to immune system, we want to create the normalcy, restoration of the normalcy, dhatus, the vital tissues which are deranged. This is our logic. And why the Ayurvedic management is better for the chronic diseases? New paradigm is there. Because I believe the chronicity of the disease is due to immunopathology. This immunopathology may result by two basic factors. First one is the membrane pathology, and second one is the dislodged immunity. Here what we are doing, we are removing the membrane pathology with the help of the Panchkarma therapy. You might not be aware regarding the Panchkarma therapy. Panchkarma therapy is a specialized method of the Ayurvedic treatment by which we are purifying each and every cell of the body with the help of the different type of the measures like vamana, induced vomiting, induced purgation. These type of the things are there. We are doing. This is not a massage therapy. Odiation is there, sudation is there. 5 therapies are there by which we can purify each and every cell of the body. So we are removing the membrane pathology with the help of the Panchkarma therapy on one hand, and in each and every chronic disease we are giving some rasayan drugs, rejuvenators. Professor Stelvan is there who is working Institute of Immunology in California. While I was presiding the chair of the Cancer and Chronic Diseases of World Ayurvedic Conference at Bangalore, Professor Stelvan said that we are working on some immunomodulator drugs like the Guluchi, Tinospora cordifolia. That Amla means this Phyllanthus Amla. And these drugs are having immunomodulator effects. That's why the recovery of the patient of the cancer is more faster than that of the patients who are not receiving such type of drugs. So that's why what I am telling here, that we are removing the membrane pathology on one hand by Panchkarma therapy, and on the other, we are boosting up the immune system to restore the dislodged immunity in that individual. So there will be recovery in toto. And this new paradigm is a very expected to yield the very nice results over here. Now the next important thing is, previously it was believed that each and every type of the patient can be given the same type of the treatment simply with the help of the doses. Arvind specifically emphasized over here, Yoga Mansam to Yoga Vidya Desakalopapadhitam Purusam Vicha Sageo Visugottama. Each and every individual cannot be treated with the same medicaments. Because we believe in the genome theory, which is floated now by the Western physicians very nicely, because each and every individual has got its own setup, own trait, own personality. How we will examine the personality of trait of an individual? There are 10 specific methods which are given in Ayurvedic classics to specify or identify the specific trait of the individual, physical or mental trait. Prakritascha, Vikritascha, Saratascha, Sanganantascha, Sattvatascha, Sattvatascha, Vayascheti. 10-fold parameters are there. We have already computerized these things. And after examining the patient, we can decide this person is having this type of the temperament. And this type of the temperament person should be given this type of the management. He might be having cancer or other type of the diseases. That's why each and every individual needs different type of the treatment according to Ayurvedic system of medicine. Now, one or most important thing, that is the 10 specific factors and drugs. We are talking about the immunology. This immunization schedule. Sarangan in the 16th century has given the specific description that each and every individual has got decline or bioloss of a specific factor in a particular age decade. Between the age of the 1 to 10 years, there will be decline of the corpulence of childhood. In the second decade, 11 to 20 years, there is decline of the growth or bioloss of growth. In third, complexion, intellect, skin, eyesight, sexual power, enthusiasm, decision-making power and activities. Gradually, they are having bioloss of these things. So we have suggested a schedule to the government of India. Okay, we can give a specific immunization schedule from the 0 to 100 years. And the important thing is, in a particular decade, which bioloss is there, to fulfill that bioloss, a specific drugs are also recommended. In the childhood, you are knowing, Raja Maharaja jo log hua karte the, they are giving Swarna Prasan. Swarna Bhasma they are giving to their children. There. Now it has become a very, very movement in the South India. Thousands of the thousands children we are selecting and giving the Swarna Prasan. Swarna Prasan, the thing is, we are talking about the heavy metals and all these things. Remember this thing, once we are preparing Swarna Bhasma, if it is prepared properly, it is not at all dangerous because the elemental gold is not there. It has been experimented in the various laboratories. Swarna Bhasma is not toxic at all. Swarna Prasan is there. The persons who cannot, economically, who cannot afford to take the Swarna Bhasma, for them, Kaspari, Bacha, number of the medical herbs are there. They can be given in that particular age group to prevent different diseases which are very prone in the childhood. Secondly, we are talking about the growth. They are not growth hormones. We are recommending 2 specific hormones, 2 specific drugs. They are named the Ashwagandha and Shatavari. Ashwagandha means Bithania somnifera. इस ब्रिथानिया सोमनीफेरा के बारे में मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा बिकॉज द डिग्नेटरीज फ्रॉम द अब्रॉड इज देयर. चाइना की बहुत बड़ी इकोनॉमी बेसिकली ऑफ जिनसेंग. टॉकिंग अबाउट द जिनसेंग, दे आर सेलिंग जिनसेंग इन सच ए मैनर. जापान के साइंटिस्ट ने प्रूव किया है कि अश्वगंधा इज 10 times more potent than ginseng. This ashwagandha, tons of the ashwagandha is available in university campus. If you want to see here, even in university campus, you can see tons of the ashwagandha is there. This plant is very effective, particularly for the male individual. And regarding the females, Shatavari, Asparagus racemosus. It is supposed to be lactago, not only lactago. It is wonderful drug for maintaining or the growth of the female individual. That's very effective. So ashwagandha, Shatavari, Bala, Bacha, number of the drugs are there. For complexion, we are going through the advertisements, हल्दी और चंदन के गुण समाये. विज्ञापन में आयुर्वेद का नाम होता है, उसमें होता क्या है? ऑल दे आर यूजिंग केमिकल्स. As a home remedy, you use haldi and chandan. Haldi, chandan and salmali tree work. Three things are there. They are wonderful for the skin health. Otherwise, the number of the cases of the skin cancers are due to cosmetics. They are there in the individuals. Then we are talking about the intellect. That is very important for the students. Vivekanand एक पार्टी थे. Once we go through a particular book, within meantime, you got to memorize it. Dear friends, there are 4 drugs which are supposed to be the specifically helpful for the boosting of the memory. They are the Manduk Parni, Surasa Prayoja, Chire and Yasti, Madhukas Churnam, Rase Guru Chat, Samul Puspa, Kalka Prayoja, Kalsam Puspi. 4 drugs are there. One is Brahmi, Bakopa Moneri, Sanka Puspi, Calbolbros, Periplodiculus, which is available abundance in the university campus. Guluchi is there in university campus here. Tinospora cordifolia. It is supposed to be immunomodulator drug. And 4th one is the Muleti, Glyceraja glabra. These 4 drugs are having tremendous power to increase the intellect. Similarly, other drugs are described over there, Jyotispati and Tripla for eyesight. I have used this thing. जिन लोगों को चश्मा लग गया था, चश्मा निकल गया, आप लोग कहेंगे आप क्यों लगाए हुए हो? ये 0 पावर का है. इसमें कोई पावर नहीं है. तो चश्मा वगैरह आई साइट को ठीक करने के लिए सिंपली ज्योतिषमती एंड त्रिफला इज सपोज्ड टू बी द वंडरफुल ड्रग, नेचुरल होम रेमेडीज. Similarly, we can immunize yourself for the 100 years of the age. That's why it has been written in the Ayurvedic classics, Jeevem Shardha Satam, Pashyem Shardha Satam. Now the limitation of the Western medicine. Western medicine is much advanced in treating infectious diseases, but has limitations in treating endogenous diseases like bronchial asthma, heart disease, diabetes mellitus, hypertension, peptic ulcer, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis and vitiligo. And provides only palliative treatment as it has to manage the only acute symptoms of the disease concerned, and neither the relief is long lasting nor this disease can be cured. Rather, it is likely to induce several side effects. Science है, science 100% नहीं होती. Western medicine is a fully developed science. So there are some side effects. Naturally they are there. And Ayurvedic treatment given for these individuals, definitely they cannot manage the clinical emergency. But after controlling the emergent symptom of the patient, if you use the drug in between 2 attacks, definitely you can cure the individuals of the bronchial asthma. Even for diabetes, it has been claimed once the patient beta cells are not there, complete absence of the beta cells, patient is suffering from diabetes. So what can be contributed by Ayurveda? Exogenous insulin is mandatory. In those individuals, it is fact given by the WHO, in spite of sufficient glucose control by the insulin and oral hypoglycemic drugs, its complications are inevitable. These Ayurvedic drugs can definitely increase the integrity of the vital tissue and prevent the rate of the complication and the development of the complications. That's why they can be helpful over there also. Merits of the Ayurvedic therapy. Radical removal of the disease as it destroys cause rather than symptoms. It is safe and it has no side effects. Crudopathy is the beauty of Ayurveda. The question is, now several new pharmaceuticals started their herbal division and preparing capsules and tablets of particular herbs. I am criticizing these things because a common example I am quoting over here, Sarpagandha was very famous in Ayurvedic classics by the name of the Pagal Booty. It was given for the patient of insanity. For years together you can use Sarpagandha without any adverse effect. But you start reserpine, that is the alkaloid, detected from this particular plant. Minimum dose 0.25 milligram tablet is more than sufficient to minimize the blood pressure of the patient. But if you use this drug for 1 month or more, in most of the individuals there is a serious side effects as a societal tendency. You can use Sarpagandha for years together without any side effects because the other co-alkaloids which are present in the Sarpagandha powder, they are minimizing the adverse reaction of a particular alkaloid. That's why in a group, crudopathy is the beauty of Ayurveda. It is based on living herbs, hence can be absorbed and accepted by our body more easily due to similarity in the biomorphic constitution. It is economic and easy to procure. Now the question is, लोग कहते हैं कि आयुर्वेद वाले लोग चिल्लाना शुरू कर देते हैं, हमारा तो पहले से ही लिखा हुआ है. It is not there. Charak has clearly mentioned, evam aviskritanam vyadhinam vyakhyashyama. I am expounding only those diseases which are in existence. Now the new diseases comes in the light. उसके लिए उन्होंने ये नहीं कहा है कि आप जरूर जबरदस्ती वहीं खोजिए. उन्होंने लिखा है, according to Ayurvedic principles, all diseases cannot be controlled successfully by knowing their Agni status, involve the Surtas, Ojoval and individual. It is not necessary to know the name of the each and every disease for the treatment. जरूरी नहीं है. Principles आपको बता दिया. You just analyze the pathogenesis of the disease concerned and you can treat it. Now the cancer is the best characterized by the abnormal cell division and is caused by the mutation in gene involved in the control of the cell division. Cancer cells fail to respond to normal signals, thereby proliferating more rapidly. They do not respect tissue boundaries and invade the adjacent tissue too. They have the capacity to metastasize and establish a new growth at a remote site. इसमें हम ज़्यादा नहीं बोलेंगे, आप लोगों ने लगातार सुना है और सुनेंगे. हमारा अपना अप्रोच है, उसके बारे में हम चर्चा करेंगे. These are the common characteristics of the cancer: the chronicity, autonomy, anaplasia, and metastasis. Here I want to tell you one more important thing. Ayurveda believes in the trihumoral theory, Bath, Pitta and Kapha. As far as the Bath is concerned, it is specifically for the growth and division.